Hey y'all, this is Jasmine Jones with the Business Umbrella here with the Let's Talk Business podcast. This series is called The Big Jump and is geared towards entrepreneurs who are thinking about starting a business but have not yet taken that big jump. So today we have with us Jason Jones with Freight Enterprise Solutions. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming out and sharing your story with the inspiring entrepreneur. So let's jump right into it. Tell us what inspired you to start Freight Enterprise Solutions.
Great. Thanks for the question. I think it's a quote that says, "Build your own dream, work on building someone else's dream," and that definitely just resonated with me. But just like a background, I think, like I said, I was born to be an entrepreneur. I always had the passion. It wasn't nothing too much to think about, and just the freedom that it presents, it was a great option for me to decide to jump off the porch and pretty much do it.
Jump off the porch, huh? Goes right into it, the big jump. So you say right out the gate you felt like you were an entrepreneur.
Yeah, I definitely feel like I was born an entrepreneur. Like from an early age, I always seen opportunities, like washing cars, doing other various things. Even like early on, inventor. I used to want to be an inventor. And so
Inventor. What were some of the things you thought about inventing?
I'd rather not share, but
Oh, okay.
I was rather creative from early age. I say from the 5th grade on, I always jotted ideas down. I always was very creative, even though I didn't express it much with people. Kind of kept it to myself.
Right.
But when the opportunity came to be an entrepreneur, I seen the opportunity. I just, took advantage of it.
So how did you get into the trucking industry?
The truck industry, I kind of knew some people that was doing it. I heard some good things about it, and I heard some bad things about it. And so I just started investigating it more, asking more questions. And actually, when I was starting, it wasn't a good time to start. The industry was kind of down.
So around when was that?
Like 6 years ago, 2015.
2015. So Freight Enterprise Solutions been open since 2015?
Well, I had another previous company, but when I started my ambition to open my own company, to go from an employee to working for myself, when I took that jump, it was back in 2015. And it wasn't a good market at the time for truck drivers. The oil field was down. Everybody I knew was telling me, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. But after doing more research, asking more questions, I identified a unique market that was going over the road when they would be home every day. So it was more challenging, more demanding, but it presented me the opportunity to become an entrepreneur.
Okay, okay, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. So, what was that process like for you getting your business started?
Getting it started, I was very excited. Like I said, to be building your own dream. I pretty much wasn't nervous. I was more excited and getting the people around me to buy into the dream because I was sold on it. So I had to get the people around me to kind of believe in, hey, this is what I want to do, and this is the steps it's going to take.
So I'm glad you mentioned that. I went to a seminar this weekend. They talked about starting a business and how you have to sit down with your family and get them on board. So you said it was the people around you. So how were they supportive, or how did that work out?
I think they wanted to be supportive, but they had some legit concerns. For one was like, you got a job, it's secure, it's a for sure check every month, and pay the bills. So I remember when I first bought my truck, I bought the truck. I went to my grandmother's house. It was a nice truck. She came out, looked at the truck. She gave me, kudos. Say it's a nice truck. You got a nice job. You need to keep that job. It helped you get this truck. And I said, actually, Grandma, I'm quitting this job and using this truck to go in business. And
Right.
she was like, I'm 80 years old. She's like, listen to me, boy. I'm 80 years old. Don't quit that good job.
Right.
I said,
Got
no.
benefits.
Exactly. I said, no, Grandma. I got to build my dream.
Right.
So I told her, hey, I got to do it, and I never looked back. And actually, it's been very great. Everybody in my family been able to benefit from me kind of being a guinea pig, jumping off the porch, and going through the ups and downs, going through the ringer.
Man, that's fire. That's fire.
Well,
Okay, so being in business for more than 3 years, what are 3 specific challenges you have faced, and how did you overcome them?
okay, I definitely got more than 3, but I'm going to say a big challenge when I decided to scale my business up was hiring the wrong personnel, like hiring the wrong people.
Right.
And that's just based. I was looking at the money, wasn't thinking about any like repercussions. So I know.
So what do you mean you were looking at the money? Like, as far as how much you had to pay them, you felt like it was good enough? What do you mean?
Look at the money is like if the trucks don't roll, you don't make money. So if I got
Okay.
a truck sitting, I can't make money.
Okay.
So whatever driver come along,
Oh, you was just grabbing first one out the gate.
something like that. I kind of knew, not first out the gate, but I knew it could be problematic to hire this person. But I went with it, like saying that, not going by my first instincts, and hey, it might could be something different. But knowing their background, it was problematic a little bit. I knew that up front. So
So how did you overcome that challenge? Like, what are you doing now as far as hiring personnel?
I fired them. That's how I overcame.
Oh, okay.
Nah,
you gave him the boot. That wasn't gonna work.
Yeah, no, definitely. I just scream more, like talk to them, let them know my goals, ask them some of their goals, let them know my vision. What I'm trying to build $1 million company.
So kind of make sure they aligned with your vision.
They align with it. Let them know that this is a family-oriented company. I definitely want to make it feel like they don't have options. So I try to include them on everything in my vision, and see if they'll be a good fit, like for the vision that I have. Like I have a couple of drivers that got promoted to being owner, and that's what I encourage. Like if you come work for my company, we still growing, we still facing some challenges, but we definitely make it a family-oriented environment. We pay like I think the best in the industry, and you get the knowledge of working with another entrepreneur. If you ever decide to go in that way,
that they can start their own business. That's pretty good. So, tell us about another challenge that you faced and how you overcame it.
Another one is like being too reactive, like not being proactive, like reacting. Like when a problem come up, reacting to it. I do think I have good problem solving like skills. That's one thing I do think I do have.
You feel like you're solution focused?
Yes, I mean to stay calm. Like when things go wrong, I definitely stay calm and definitely find the right solution. But the problem that I was having was being too reactive, not being proactive enough. And so for like give you an example, like I might know I need to change these tires before I hit the road with the truck. But I'd be like, nah, let's try to take a chance with it.
Right.
So now versus that thinking, I'd rather just prepare to take care of the repairs ahead of time versus getting on the road, having a breakdown, like being a very inconvenience to my driver, way more expensive, more downtime.
So I think that's important that we elaborate on that. So can you talk a little bit about the consequences when you didn't prepare? Like if you knew you had to change the tire and you didn't do it, can you tell us about what happened in that situation?
Yes. When I started out, like I say, you chasing money.
Right.
And you overlook a lot of maintenance that maybe you should be taking care of.
Right.
And we're putting a lot of miles and a lot of wear and tear on your equipment. And being a young business owner, you definitely have to have the insight to know when it's time to shut it down. Right. It's time to keep going. I didn't necessarily take heed to those indications, so I would rather just try to push it, try to live to see another day, and it cost me a lot. Like I had a very unfortunate breakdown. Like because we was traveling from Houston to New York to Boston, so we definitely wasn't no local jokers. So we break down.
Was state.
Yeah, it was crossing state lines.
Not changing tires ahead of time.
1,300 miles away, and the tires come off the trailer like while we driving. Like
off the trailer. 2
tires came off the trailer while we was driving into ongoing traffic, but we was blessed,
So you overcame that challenge by now you prepare ahead of time for your trips and things like that?
Definitely matured, and it's best to pay the money up front and get prepared,
Okay.
That was a rookie mistake early on, just chasing the money,
Well, like I say, this is geared to the inspiring entrepreneur, so I think that's good to let them know whatever you do, you need to be proactive and prepare and prioritize. So tell us about maybe your last challenge that you had and had to overcome.
Another challenge I would think that was real critical was not understanding the business cycle. Like that's early on. I'm telling you problems early on.
Yeah, early on,
of course. You, for entrepreneurs that start out. So early on, I didn't understand the full business cycle. Like in trucking, it's a peak season and it's a down season. So in the peak season, you make a lot of money.
Right.
So in the peak season, I found myself kind of leisuring too much. Like, making good money and then taking a break. Making good money and taking a break. I had no idea that when the downtime came that I definitely should have took more advantage of the peak season. So when the downtime came, I would say around the winter months when it's snowing, it definitely like threw a monkey wrench in my operation. I wasn't prepared for it,
So you feel like if you would have did some research and learned your industry first, they would have better prepared you for the financial cycle?
Exactly, definitely. I would have did more research on the, you hear about the money that you can make.
Right.
And all the good things about trucking, but you necessarily hear about the bad things, and one particular is the business cycle. You have to definitely know the cycle of the business. Like if you're in a business, you got to know when is the peak, when is the most demand, when is the down season.
So like when it's peak season, you grind, but then you put some of that money up for the time that it slows down.
Most definitely. And then another step to be proactive, you actually can change your line of work. Like, like we was doing long hauls, and that's kind of effective, but during the snow season, like when it's snowing and stuff, Amazon would be a good option. So now we just
diversify your services.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So Amazon is peak during that time. My normal business cycle is slow during the the winter months, Amazon's actually at peak, so we switch over.
Because they giving all them Christmas gifts out.
Yeah, for
Okay.
sure. So we switch over to
Makes sense.
we switch over and do Amazon now. And that definitely helps with our business cycle. So.
Okay, so I think that brings us into our next question. Do you prefer to complete majority of the tasks yourself, or are you big on outsourcing? Or have you done a little bit of both?
I'm definitely big on outsourcing. I'm definitely a believer. I didn't start out that way,
Okay.
I thought as an entrepreneur, you got to be the accountant. You got to be hands-on.
Do everything yourself.
Do everything yourself to be a real entrepreneur. But what I found out, that's not effective.
It's not reality.
It's not efficient. It's not effective. It definitely helps to use a service, like I say, a service like you have, that you provide. Like right now, the things I did for improvements, I was the sole dispatcher. So now I have 2 dispatchers.
Right.
They take care of my back office. They send in the invoices. They dispatch my drivers. So I'm pretty much have a free schedule.
Right. They take care of all your paperwork and then allow you to
be free to do marketing or to do whatever to better the business. So I don't have to necessarily be hands-on as much.
So it's really good you brought that up, because that is what we do at the Business Umbrella. We serve as the back office to entrepreneurs and small businesses, and we do just that. We take care of all of their administrative and financial needs so that it frees up the ownership, whether that's just a manager or just an entrepreneur. It frees them to focus on the business. Mm-hmm. So this weekend at the seminar we went to, they said something that resonated with me. Mm-hmm. They said as an entrepreneur, you need to work on your business and not in your business. And I think that's key. And I really am trying to teach that and push that out to the community, that if you're an entrepreneur, you need to work on your business, work on scaling, work on growing, and allow others to help you and work in your business. So here at the Business Umbrella, we work in the business. We do your paperwork. We do everything administrative-wise so that you can work on the business. So
Perfect. Yeah, definitely just piggyback off of that. Scaling the business, that's where I'm at now. I'm in the process of trying to scale up.
Take it to the next level.
Yeah, I have 5 trucks right now, and I'm definitely trying to keep scaling, and we're scaling fast. So it's dealing with management personalities, different drivers, back office. But another thing that talk to you about is improving the process. As I scale, I want to make sure I get the same quality of work, the same productivity. Okay, so I had a meeting with you. We talked about identifying some areas of improvement.
Right.
Created an action plan, created a list, and I'm supposed to each week as an owner attack one thing on that list to try to make the improvement better as we scale up.
That's a gem. You really gave a gem to everyone, so that's good. If you had to sit down with the inspiring entrepreneur, what would be your advice for them?
My advice for an inspiring entrepreneur?
They come to you and they say, hey, I have an idea and I think I'm ready to start the business. What would you tell them?
I'll ask them some critical questions.
Like what?
Are they only motivated by the money? Is it a passion? What kind of value are they bringing? Are they bringing some value? And another thing, are they not prepared to work? I think entrepreneurs don't feel where you leave a job for 40 hours a week just to work 80 hours.
Right.
It's definitely gonna be overtime. It's not. If you think they just want to start a business and have weekends, every weekend off, get off at 5 o'clock today and I'm off. No. If you want birthdays, if you want to celebrate children's birthday, your personal birthday, holidays,
right?
I think you gotta
plan for that.
You gotta. I'm saying, listen, if you want to be an entrepreneur, there's no birthdays, there's no holidays.
Some sacrificing has to happen.
It's gonna be some sacrificing, yeah, definitely early on, because most businesses close within the first 3 years to go out of business. But so,
I think that's really good to touch on, because there is a big misconception that when you become an entrepreneur, you don't have to work for anybody and work on their time. So they figure, you work less time being an entrepreneur, but not at all. You double up.
Oh yeah, you gotta double up, definitely. And I think it's kind of funny, maybe 10 years ago, when I was in college, a little over 10 years maybe. But,
you was in college 10 years ago?
No,
okay.
over 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But actually, my major was entrepreneurship and marketing. And I remember I used to be afraid to tell people that. They're like, what you going to school for? I was like, entrepreneurship. They're like, what you going to do?
That?
I'm like, I'm going to start a business. But at that time, just culturally, it wasn't a cool thing to be an entrepreneur. So I think now it's a cool thing to be an entrepreneur, but people definitely have to understand the importance of the sacrifice.
Right.
It's definitely hard work. At the point of my business right now, I can sit back. I got 2 dispatchers. I don't really pretty much do anything but sit back and write checks. But early on,
boss man.
Really, but early on, I had to hit the road. I sacrificed. Guys used to call me, but hey, man, what you doing? Put me on. I had to tell them, hey, I don't come home every day.
Right.
I'm gone 2-3 weeks at a time. They put a strain on your family, put a strain on your kids. But look at me now. 5 years later, I get to sit back. I got all the freedom in the world. Like if I want to go to New York tomorrow, I want to go to Miami tomorrow, I really have that freedom, you know.
That's good. So I want to touch on something you mentioned about passion. Do you think that as an entrepreneur and to have a successful business that you need passion and you need like passion and talent, or do you think you can run a business based purely off talent?
No, I definitely think as an entrepreneur, just like a craft, any craft, as a basketball player, let's say. I know y'all probably heard the stories about Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant.
Right.
Their dedication to the game that made them over the top. You know, they put in extra time. As an entrepreneur, this is your craft. I think you definitely got to take it serious by educating yourself. One, knowledge is power. Like a lot of things could be prevented with the right education.
Right.
Or the right mentorship or something like that. So talent-wise, talent is, I think, only half the battle. I think as a talent, I think I had a natural knack for entrepreneurship. I think I have a natural creativity, a natural passion for talent-wise. But on the other end, the administration side, like being organized, like I definitely could work on that. Other things that complement my talent, I do have to work to be an effective entrepreneur. Yeah.
Right. Or outsource it.
Yeah, definitely outsource it.
Right.
But yeah, passion is important. I think passion and, like I said, value. Find out where you could bring value, or where your talent whether your talent fit and offer the most value to any kind of problem or situation.
Right. They say that's where a lot of ideas come from, is fixing a problem that you may already have. Right.
For sure. Mm-hmm.
I want to talk to you. I want to add something you said.
I want to add something.
Okay, go ahead.
About the culture, like us as a culture.
Mm-hmm.
I think, like I said, the shift is happening towards entrepreneurship.
Oh, that's
so like we talked on earlier. Don't think it's a cakewalk. It's
right.
definitely, it's definitely beautiful, but every day is not glamorous.
Right.
But I wouldn't want nothing like this is the best feeling in the world. Like to build something, to let your kids see you.
Right.
Like my son take pride. Like he'll never have a job. Like really. Like I'll be like hard pressed to find that he have a job. And I actually proposed a challenge. I said, hey, if y'all working on $1 million company to my kids, or if y'all are millionaires, y'all don't have to go to college. I'm trying to give them an incentive to push entrepreneurship, and I always look for ways to sit down and let them know, hey, this is going around you. Look for the opportunities.
Right.
So I kind of teach them in that. But like I said, culturally as a people, I think now that's the great equalizer. Like I think a job, like I said earlier, if you could build your dream, or you're gonna work building someone else's dream.
Right.
And I think jobs just don't have the stability. And I just think it's like as a black people, culturally as a people, entrepreneurship is the great equalizer.
Right.
We have opportunities that the internet has presented that other generations didn't have.
Right.
The information age, the knowledge, everything that we have at the excess of our fingertips, other generations didn't have. I think it'll be an excuse for anybody to sit back and not take place in this beautiful thing right now, entrepreneurship. Yeah.
So I really believe that was beautiful advice to the aspiring entrepreneur. I really feel like that answers some of the questions they may have. It's not an easy thing, and yes, it is becoming a culture thing. Everybody wants to jump into it. But things like this, like the Let's Talk Business podcast, that's why we started this, so that, okay, you want to be an entrepreneur, you want to, become a part of that, that's great. But let's give you some gems. Let's educate you. Let's lead you in the right direction, because it's a lot of people who get their income tax and want to start a business. They go file an LLC, and then that's it. Well, nothing else happens. Or they start doing, and they get these transactions. They start billing people through Cash App, and that's all they see. They never take their business to the next level. They just provide a service, get the money in Cash App, and say they're running a business. But that's really running a hobby. Yes, and what we want to do is get our community to actually get longevity in the businesses that they start. For sure, and definitely doing partnership, like a partnership with you. Yeah, joint ventures. Yeah. Not that for your service. I'm saying partnering with your service. Outsourcing. Especially that's very. If I could have had that early on, it would have been a lot better. So let me stop you there, because that brings us to the next question. What are one of the key elements in the success of your business right now that you wish you would have started with from the beginning? Like if you would have done that straight out the gate, you feel like your business may be further along than what it is. Perfect. My business is not perfect, so I'm in the process of still doing a lot of these procedures. Right. Like payroll. I have 8 employees now, so I have 8 people that have to pay every week. So I'm finna move to a QuickBooks system and use a service like yours to do the QuickBooks,
And then also more to that is like the profit and loss. Like with QuickBooks, I'm able to see what I got coming in, what I'm going at, what I have going at. I'm able to do financial plans to see like where we at financially, to set goals. If I want to be more profitable, this is what I need to do. Come up with a budget. So like a service like yours is definitely what I need to do to keep going to the next step. So I'm still implementing more things. And one thing, like I said, is the QuickBooks and the overall like business, like the business umbrella services that I provide. Like
that back office.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to elaborate on that. I'm very grateful for you. Continuing to mention my business. So at the Business Umbrella, bookkeeping is the number one thing. At the Business Umbrella, we service entrepreneurs who are just getting started, as well as entrepreneurs who are in that growth stage, like your company. And so bookkeeping and budget forecasting and all of that is a key element to success. Because like you say, if you don't know how much money you're bringing in and what's going out, what are you really doing?
For sure.
At the end of every month, when you have bookkeeping in place, you're able to see how much money you made, and you're able to make projections for the months coming up. So you're always financially planning. That way, at the end of the year, you're working towards a goal of making a profit. So shout out to you for allowing us to serve you in that sense. So
I think most, like for my instance, like I think I'm more the creator, I'm more the visionary, but a person like your service,
right,
which I offer to help me organize these thoughts, organize this with the actual data. These are the numbers. These are that,
Yeah.
And then also they're like orientation. Like you do more orientation for me. Like that helps the driver come in and build like a respect for the culture in the business. Like when I first had my first business, it was making money, but the business wasn't healthy. Like
Right.
So like with a service like yours, when I bring my drivers in and I send them the orientation, like the response that they get, like it like ignites something in them. They want to be a part of it. Like my drivers right now, like I have 8 drivers. They want to be a part of the vision. They want to be a part of being $1 million company.
Right.
And I think it all starts like with the orientation, with the structure, like dealing with your employees. If you're an entrepreneur, you don't have those qualities, definitely get a service like the Business Umbrella that can come in and do those qualities to help you improve your personnel, help you with the HR. That's basically what you kind of serve as the HR. Like there's a lot that I don't have. Like, as a one-man team for us being an owner inside the dispatchers, the HR element is definitely missing. That's the need that I need to fulfill to keep growing at the rate that I'm growing, because I'm growing real fast.
So that's the good thing about technology now. So as an entrepreneur, you don't have to do everything yourself. You can outsource and be able to afford to outsource, because the way things are set up now, you're able to outsource. And now at Freight Enterprise Solution, you do have an HR department. You do have a payroll department without having to hire a full staff. So that's the gem with being able to outsource.
For sure.
So thank you for that.
Oh, no problem.
Well, that brings us to the end of the questions. Do you have anything else that you would like to tell the inspiring entrepreneur?
I want to just talk about the truck industry.
Okay.
In particular, I'm going to be launching a portal, like an online portal. I wish I could have brought some receipts today just to show like the backside, like how much I spent in maintenance this past month, like how much my bottom line was affected by the maintenance. So I definitely want to do a portal that do like a training. It's a lot of competition in the portal market, but I think I do have a unique perspective that I definitely want to share through this portal to other truck drivers that are interested in getting in the trucking industry, because it's definitely a lot of money.
So you mean like online education, like online classes you want to start offering?
Yes, exactly. An online training portal where you can get the training and get some of my knowledge that I have over the years, put it in the training that you can have access to.
So let me speak to that. So you said that there's a lot of people who do that, but the good thing about that is when you start offering those classes, you're also able to bring your experience, and no one else out there has the experience you had in Freight Enterprise Solutions. So it may be someone else that's out there teaching the same thing, but they don't bring the experience that you have. So there's still always a lane for someone to be able to share their story and, be able to teach other people what they know, because nobody else knows it the way you know it.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, definitely my unique experiences. I'm not saying no more than anybody, but I'm saying that I've been successful. I have 5 trucks at the moment, and I do think there's some valuable information that I can bring, and just to add more to it about the trucking and any entrepreneurs interested in trucking, it's definitely a lot of upside. It's very scalable. Like you can go from 1 to 10 trucks. There's no limit.
Right.
And the cash flows like crazy. Like you buy a truck today, it could be making money tomorrow. So it's definitely a good cash flow. So like I said, the culture, for our culture, like people that's interested in it, I definitely think you have to get the right knowledge.
Right.
Because there's a lot of information about the money side, but nobody has to talk about, the other side of it, what it entails. And I definitely think I have a unique opportunity to express that,
Okay, so tell us, how can you be reached? So if I want to start a trucking company, or if I just want to find out more about you, how can they contact you?
Okay, my company is freightenterprisesolutions@gmail.com. That's my email for any potential customers that want to do business. For as my Instagram, it's free FREE_enterprise_Jones. That's my Instagram. So the portal is kind of new, so I'll have more information about that. But in the meantime, you want to reach me, that's my email, freightenterprisesolutions@gmail.com.
Okay, well, that wraps up the second episode of Let's Talk Business. We want to thank you, Mr. Jones, for coming out and sharing your gems with the world. No problem. That's it.
Thank y'all for having me.
All righty.